I'm Kunal Shah, Head of Commodity Research from Nirmal Bank. We are going to talk about the factors which are having an impact on prices of precious metals. So, I visited one conference at London, and at that time I was asked who is the best gold analyst, and the spontaneous reply which came in my mind is Indian women. Yes, Indian women have been buying gold from centuries and they have been rewarded. We've seen prices of gold have risen in last 18-20 years from mere 2,000-3,000 rupees to almost 40,000 rupees. So all the Indians who have been buying gold from centuries, they have been rewarded handsomely in last 20-25 years. So it is considered as a store of value, it is considered auspicious, and gold has basically created a lot of wealth for all the Indians. When you go deep into gold demand, okay, what is something, if you want to really understand the gold demand, there are two main sources of gold demand. One is love demand and another is fear demand. So when I say this is the most simple way to understand gold. When you talk about love demand, that is basically a jewelry demand. So all the women's, everyone, they all want to buy more and more jewelry, and that is, it is not something which is related to price. So if gold prices are at 35,000 or at 40,000 or at 30,000, it doesn't matter a lot, because whatever jewelry they want to buy, they will buy. Maybe if the prices are too high, they will not. If they want to buy two jewelry, they will buy one. But eventually they are going to buy. So that is nothing to do with prices. But another demand, which is a fear demand. So every time when people senses economic recessions, geopolitical tensions, currency devaluations, surge in inflation, in all such scenarios, people are fearful, and in fear they hold on to gold. So most of the times the gold prices are all about fear demand. So every time there is a fear in the system, every time there is a fear of something bad is going to happen, or in order to protect ourselves, we are buying gold. So love demand doesn't make a major rally in gold, it is the fear demand. So what fear demand does is it leads to a major investment demand in gold, and that investment demands drive the prices of gold. India and China are basically the major consumer of gold, and most of the demand which comes from the retailers is in a form of jewelry demand. But the fear demand is generally created by the investors who want to diversify, who want to protect themselves against any crisis that is there. In another word, it is traditional factors and non-traditional factors. Traditional factors includes the demand from the jewelry segment, and non-traditional factors include demand from the financial sector in order to diversify, in order to hedge from the risks which are arising. Apart from that, which are the factors really which is triggering the major upside in gold? So we'll talk about the factors such as currency depreciation. So we've seen during the Asian market crisis, we've seen during the times when the currency devaluation take place. At that time, gold prices in that currency shoots up. So for example, if Indian currency weakens by 5% versus dollar, then gold prices are also shoots up at that, not by same quantum, but definitely it moves up because of the weakness in currency. So when you invest in gold, you are hedging yourself against the currency devaluation. Another reason, from last 8 to 10 years, this was not existence post 2008, before 2008, but post 2008, this is one of the major reasons for gold prices to remain up. Central banks are diversifying their foreign exchange reserve into gold. So we have seen all the emerging market, developed nations, they have been on a buying spree. China, Russia, India, Turkey, all these countries are diversifying their foreign exchange reserve into gold, and because of that we've seen gold prices moving up. So from last 2 years, central banks buying is the main source of demand for gold, and we've seen in 2018 more than 600 tons of gold which have been bought by central banks, and in 2019 also roughly 500 to 600, the central bank buying will be between 500 to 600 tons. So this is the whole new set of demand which has emerged from last 15 years. Then there is an important thing such as any geopolitical tension. We've seen during 9/11 attacks in US, any time you see such geopolitical tension, and gold tends to shoot up because of that. And now the most important reason is whenever there is a crisis, so we've seen dot-com bubble burst, we've seen subprime crisis, we've seen Lehman Brothers crisis. In all these events, gold prices have shot up. So in recently also, we've seen US-China trade war, global slowdown, again recessionary concerns in Europe, and suddenly we've seen gold prices appreciating by 30% in India. So gold prices, if you own gold, these are the factors you must watch out for, and you must track it. You must also track the economic reports of the major G7, G8 economies, which is indicating whether there is an economic expansion, or whether there is a stagnation, or whether there is a recession, or whether there is a deflation, and considering that you can determine the overall outlook of gold. So thanks a lot to listening to me.